The Allen & Company Media and Technology Conference is set to get underway this week out in Sun Valley, Idaho. Our Greg Miles will be there, but he is here now to talk about it with a special guest. Greg, take it away.
That's right. You know, more than 200 of the world's most powerful media and technology executives will meet at this mountaintop resort. And one big topic will be the drastic decline in advertising and when and whether it's going to recover. Now, here to talk about that is Jack Myers, a chief economist, owner and founder of Jack Myers Publishing, who surveys literally hundreds of ad buyers before doing your forecast. Welcome, Jack.
It's good to be here, Greg.
You've got a pretty provocative scenario here. You're saying that that U.S. advertising is going to fall 12% in 2009 and is not going to recover along with the U.S. economy as it has in past recoveries whenever we do recover.
Well,
why?
In fact, Greg, since the 1920s, advertising has typically followed GDP with about a 6-month lag time with some minor exceptions. This time, it's unlikely that advertising will follow GDP as we move back toward an inflationary marketplace in 2010, 2011. It's likely advertising will stabilize at about a 25% decline 2007 to 2011, and then it'll be slow growth, about half GDP.
Okay, tell our viewers, I mean, why are we going to see that decline, and why is it not going to recover?
It's really a simple inversion of the supply-demand equation. For years, we've had limited advertising inventory, limited supply, with growing demand from automotive manufacturers, packaged goods, across new categories of advertisers developing almost every year. This year, we've got, and for the foreseeable future, we've got virtually unlimited advertising supply with declining demand. So for the next 30, 40, even 50 years, we're going to see a reversal of those traditional supply-demand
You mean
factors.
unlimited supply of pipelines, really, basically, for trying to sell advertising. Now, I want to clarify, there's going to be a $60 billion decline. You're forecasting your revenue between 2007 2011 down to $185 billion. Which media companies are going to get hurt most by this?
It's the local media that are being most hurt. It's the ones that don't have strong brands.
Like what? With the Washington Post, Tribune companies?
Newspaper companies, the local television and radio companies, the ones that are typically dependent on raising their prices every year in order to grow. We're going to see overall price declines in advertising into the foreseeable future, so the strong content companies like Disney will do well. Companies like Viacom will do well. We'll see companies that aren't even media companies emerging as content players selling advertising like Virgin and Apple. Companies like CBS, on the other hand, could actually become like a Walmart of media. They have a lot of supply, but they're able to be the low-price provider at almost every category.
Now, you say there's a big problem here, though, that what we're seeing here also is that old media companies, really all media companies, are getting less advertising dollars for each viewer or reader or eyeball that they reach compared to a few years ago, that over the next few years it's going to fall from $15 for every 1,000 consumer advertising impressions down to 8, 12. That's a decline of 20 to 50%. That's disastrous for some companies.
It's disastrous for some companies, but they also have to realize that advertising accounts for only about 30% of the average marketer's total communications budget. There's another 70% that goes to promotion, couponing, sweepstakes, events, direct marketing, trade promotion. They need to tap into those budgets, and the strong content players are well positioned to do that.
So what are we talking about? The Twitters, the Facebooks, the MySpaces?
Well,
good
certainly
social
networking, social community, user-generated content, virtual worlds, gaming are well positioned for growth along those lines. But I think the traditional content players like Disney, Viacom, and others that have strong differentiated brands that people are passionate about will be able to tap into those budgets most effectively.
Now, can the New York Times, the Washington Post, these companies with strong national and regional newspapers and also local TV networks, can they survive?
It's going to be a real challenge for them because their core content is commoditized. News is commoditized, available everywhere. They truly have to differentiate themselves and find how to tap into their content and connect marketers to the content. Newspapers are especially challenged in that area.
Jack, we got to go. I want to thank you very much for your time.
Pleasure to be here, Greg.
There you have it, Jack Myers. It's Jack Myers Publishing.